Breaking news, you're looking at video of one of the last times Oscar winner Gene Hackman, a known recluse in recent years, was seen in public.
Well, it's been nearly a week since Gene Hackman's body was discovered. This morning, while authorities have ruled out some scenarios, they still don't know what happened to Hackman and his wife.
Gene Hackman, the Hollywood legend whose name evokes grit, unparalleled talent, and a decades-long career, may have left behind more than just a cinematic legacy. His departure has unveiled a story so intricate and unexpected that it has shaken those closest to him. To the world, Hackman was an icon, a two-time Oscar winner who redefined acting with his unwavering dedication to the craft. But beyond the glitz and glamour was a man whose personal life was far from tranquil. His final years were marked by wealth, secrecy, and a family fractured by distance and unresolved pain.
It's weird because I knew a lot of them, so they weren't intimidating. Meeting Gene Hackman the first time, was like, but then finding out he was so funny, that was a great thing. You know, when I saw him, he did that speech in Birdcage where he just says that thing about, and the leaves, and at that point you just slowly nod off. But he did it so, it's a hard thing to make boring hysterical. And he did it. Yeah. And he did it.
Imagine this. Over $80 million in assets, a fortune meticulously hidden across real estate investments and accounts so elusive that even his closest family members struggled to trace them. Yet this wealth was no golden legacy passed down with love. Instead, it felt like a curse, igniting tension, resentment, and a storm of unanswered questions. The money carried whispers of betrayal, unsent letters filled with regret, and a family, divided by a chasm too vast to cross. Gene Hackman's public image was one of a resolute, hard-edged professional, but in private he was a man who had chosen isolation, perhaps as a way to escape the very people he was meant to protect and nurture.
Much of the investigation is happening just up this road, behind gates and a guard, in an affluent neighborhood where homes are separated by acres of land. That's where Hackman and his wife chose to live, decidedly secluded.
Hackman's exit from Hollywood was as abrupt as it was mysterious. After his final role in Welcome to Mooseport in 2004, he simply walked away. No farewell tour, no tell-all memoir, just a quiet departure. "I've said everything I need to say," he later remarked, but he didn't just leave Hollywood, he shed his public persona entirely. His retreat to Santa Fe, New Mexico, long before retirement, signaled his craving for anonymity. There, he became a solitary figure, known to locals as the old man who pedaled his bike through the hills, far from the red carpets, seemingly at peace. Or so it appeared.
I had the pleasure of working alongside Gene on two films, Unforgiven and Under Suspicion. And like everyone who's ever shared a scene with him, I learned he was a generous performer and a man whose gifts elevated everyone's work.
Hackman's retreat wasn't just about solitude. Those who crossed his path in his final years whispered that he was burdened by the weight of his own legacy. His name, immortalized in cinematic history, was also a source of estrangement within his family. His children from his first marriage to Faye Malt bore the scars of a father who, though generous with wealth, was emotionally distant. His youngest daughter, Elizabeth, once admitted, "He was always somewhere else, physically, mentally. Fame consumed him, and there wasn't enough left for us." Her words cut to the heart of their fractured bond. Though he provided for them, his absence left a void no amount of success could ever fill.
Of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa, the couple along with their dog found dead in their New Mexico home this week by a maintenance worker. Listen, this is part of the 911 call.
Hackman's divorce from Faye after 30 years wasn't just a personal failure. It was a turning point. He later married pianist Betsy Arakawa, 30 years his junior, but their peaceful relationship did little to mend the rift with his children. Family gatherings faded, calls grew infrequent, and holidays lost their warmth. Despite his on-screen charisma, Hackman struggled, or refused, to bridge the emotional gap, relying on financial gestures that only widened the divide. Then came the mystery of his wealth. Initially, his assets seemed modest. A Santa Fe home, a vintage Hudson Hornet. But deeper digging revealed a labyrinth of offshore accounts, shell companies, and hidden investments. His fortune was carefully concealed, leaving his family to wonder why had he gone to such lengths to hide it, and why had he excluded them?